Meet me. Alright, welcome back, boys. I'm a little late on this one. I've been pretty busy with work, but finally have an opportunity to watch these videos. I kind of know about their kits already from my Discord, but today we're going to have a hero preview of Great Chief Khawana, which is an ML4, and Eda, which is just another new Nat 5. So let's talk about these heroes and see if they're any good. So here's Khawana first. Her artwork's pretty cool, actually. I actually like the original Khawana as well. Let's look at her base stats. Wow, crazy base crit chance. Holy cow, what is that? Is that normal for a Taurus? Is that what Tauruses get? I don't even know. But base speed pretty low, base defense horrendous. Who really cares about the base stats? Let's talk about her abilities. Okay, so S2. Increases crit chance by 20% when an ally is attacked by a dual attack, increase attack of the caster by 15%, and this can stack up to 5 times. So basically, it makes her a little easier to gear. It's only for her, though, and it's basically a built-in GAT after you get dual attacked 5 times. So nothing too crazy there. PvP-wise, this sounds pretty useless. Well, let's. Why did they have a showcase of this? Does it do? Oh, just showing the stacks that she's getting. Okay. Her S3 Great Chief's Devotion releases power to dispel 2 debuffs from all allies and grant increased speed and barrier for 2 turns. That's pretty good, and it grants an extra turn. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. This is a pretty good ability. You could almost think of it like Kitty Clarissa or something, one of those like 2D buff dispel heroes, or yeah, I mean nothing too special, but let's take a look at the animation. Ooh. Okay, the animation looks pretty cool, but I think that skill's pretty self-explanatory. Cuts the enemy, her S1 with a 100% chance to restrict for 1 turn. If the enemy is a light elemental, it has a 100% chance to restrict for 2 turns. So this is also going to be essentially useless in PvP. So basically, I don't know how you get this hero. I didn't pay attention to this. Is this a free ML4? If it's on a banner, and like some people I know pull on Mystics to try and get ML4s, absolutely don't do it with this hero. I think are they literally making this hero just to do Caides hunts? Because in PvP, I can tell you she'll be essentially useless. Like this move might have some value in PvP, but there are better heroes if you need to do this. Like Kitty Clarissa is much better than her at this role. It's unlikely that you're going to need to bring a hero just for a single target restrict, and her S2 for PvP is utterly worthless. So, unless this is a free ML4, I would say this is the easiest skip in the history of Epic 7. I literally can't think of any reason to get her except, I guess, for Caides. But I haven't even done Caides 13. I've seen zero reason to ever farm Caides. Maybe that will change in the future. I'm sure they might buff those new sets in the future because literally no one's using them except maybe Penetration set. But as of right now, I think I like her artwork, but she's definitely a dud. And if I'm missing something, you know, I could be wrong. Leave it in the comment section below. But just reading those abilities, PvP-wise, absolutely useless. So let's talk about Eda now. You know what, let's watch these intro videos together. I usually do like these. Get to see the S3 animation. That looks pretty cool to me. Alright, so from my guildies I hear that she's basically like a budget Silverblade Aramintha. Let's skip through this and scope that out. So she is a mage, an Ares, decent attack. She's pretty slow, 106, so definitely not an initiating hero. High base crit, attack imprint, and a self-effectiveness imprint, which tells me she's going to have a bunch of debuffs. So let's look at her skill introduction, the most important part. So we'll start with her S3. Releases energy to attack all enemies with a 75... Wait. Plus 15, plus 25, so 85% chance to stun for 1 turn. increases combat readiness of all allies by 5%. So if you have 100% crit and she crits 4 people, your whole team gets a 20% CR push plus an 85% chance to stun. And I'm assuming that animation we saw before is her S3, and it is. I actually like this S3. It looks freaking awesome, but you could even tell from here she missed already on green. So she did stun 2 people. What did the damage look like? I can't really tell what her build is. She's probably decently fast, right? I'm guessing at least like 220 speed. She has attack buff. 5k. I mean, that's not terrible damage. She's definitely, I'm assuming based on her kit, not a cleaver, but it looks like she did some damage with what I'm assuming is mostly effectiveness stats and speed. So not the worst. Let's just keep going before I give you my overall opinion. S2 Cold Snap. Attack all enemies with an explosion of ice, dispelling 1 buff before decreasing combat readiness. So kind of like Blue Roman, I guess, or is it Blue Roman or regular Roman that or is it both that has the random CR pushbacks? I think it's Blue Roman and ML Roman. If it crits, which I'm assuming it always will, unless she misses because you're going to build her for 100% crit, it's a 15 to 30% pushback on a 3-turn cooldown, and the soul burn is only 10 souls, and basically it means you can spam it every other turn, right? Wait, no. 3-turn cooldown, and it counts the turn you're on. Can you spam this every turn then? This might be pretty crazy then. Let's look at the animation. Decent animation for an S2. I missed a pushback. I want to see how much it pushed him back. Yeah, a little bit. And it did around 4,300 5k damage. Again, not terrible, because it's an FCC and a Ravi, both pretty tanky heroes, so on something squishy, even with these stacks, she might be hitting it for close to 10k. Now, granted, she has attack buff from Mui here, but I think the damage is pretty solid for what looks like a control unit. S1 attacks enemy shards of ice, blah blah blah, 75% chance for unhealable for 1 turn. Is that her attack? I mean, that's not good damage. Even if she's on Aureus, I mean, it's not proccing because she's the one being hit, so her S1 is effectively useless. But that's okay. Let's check out her artifact and I'll give you my general opinion. Increases crit chance of all allies by up to 10%. Effectiveness of the caster by 30%. I mean, no, I don't think this is a good artifact. I mean, I'd rather just have Midnight Bloom at this point. I mean, granted, she gets more effectiveness, but whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to pass on this artifact. Like, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I doubt very... Like, if you run her, you're probably going to have her on Abyssal Crown or Violin anyway. Or even Seer Ren. Like, it's a problem with new artifacts nowadays. There are already so many artifacts that are so busted that it's hard to come out with a new one without making it equally busted. Like the latest new artifact that was really good was the... what's it called? The Guild Wars artifact. That's like Portrait and Oath Key together. That one was super busted. So, okay, I think my guildie's impression of her is correct. She's basically a budget Aramintha. 85% is pretty good, right? But at the same time, RTA, a lot of value is placed on consistency. A 15% chance not to proc on 4 people means chances are you're not going to stun one of them, and if you happen to brick on something important, like a Lilius, like an ER Lilius, or not even a regular Lilius, or, you know, she's going to struggle to hit anything like Ray because he's green, and it means you're effectively done, because this is not going to be a deep... I mean, I don't know, maybe her multis are decent, you could build her as a cleaver, which would still be unusual, because not that many people true cleave anymore in RTA. I don't think she'll be a cleaver, though, so she's too slow to be... a solo initiator, and even if she was fast, her S3 doesn't strip, so she's still a follow-up hero. So to use her as a stunner, it means you essentially need to bring two strippers, like a Cerise plus a Flitica or an F10A or something, and you'll have to have pre-banned out FCC. I do like that she has a built-in CR push, but she's slow, so she's kind of like, she has to go second, right? And then she could boost up your slow DPSs that are 3 and 4. But yeah, I think people might just run her fast, because one of her abilities I do like is this thing, because I think this will be pretty toxic, because it actually dispels one buff, right? And it pushes him back. So if you build her pretty fast, and the soul burn is cheap. I mean, will some people even run around Tagahells and just spam this S2 and keep trying to push them back? I don't know. Or bring something else with Tagahells, have her on Abyssal, and you're constantly spamming this AoE thing that pushes you back, dispels you, so you don't even need violin, because it's 100% as long as it doesn't get resisted, and just keep AoE stunning you over and over. So maybe this is some effort at SG to bring control comps back without making them too reliant on sticking debuffs, because you get the opener and then afterwards you're not really sticking debuffs, but you keep pushing them back and you have the opportunity to continually apply new debuffs with Abyssal Crown and Seer of Ren. Because a lot of these teams that rely on just stacking debuffs on you and having them all stick are going to get like kind of destroyed nowadays with things like Delibet and DJB getting buffs and people already having built Rays and ER Liliuses and stuff. So this might be kind of a SG's attempt at having like a sustain control team where she's constantly debuffing you, but you will need souls to pull that off. So so anyways, overall, I mean, should you pull? I mean, sure. I mean, I pull on every RGB, but I probably won't even build her. Again, she might actually be decent. If she does end up being good, I highly suspect it will revolve around this S2 or the occasional people who have Spez built. Maybe they'll run her with Spez or something. But in general, in PvE, obviously completely useless. Don't bother getting this for PvE. For Arena, regular Arena, who gives a crap? You can use just about anything in that and win. For RTA, I think she'll show up occasionally, but honestly, I think this is going to be one of those heroes that are an easy skip. If you need this kind of in your kit, I mean, you probably, like the top players already probably have Aramintha. You could have always used, Blue Dominio if you just needed a stunner. There are lots of other options that do similar things. I think her S2 is the most unique part of her kit with the soul burn. But honestly, I don't think it's enough to make her dominant or anything like that. So my impression is that if you're short on bookmarks, this is probably an easy skip. Maybe you'll pull her because of her artwork. She kind of reminds me of like a Final Fantasy character. Looks pretty cool, actually. But in general, I would say I don't expect this hero to be meta-defining or anything like that. But hey, I could be wrong, and who knows, maybe in RTA next season, every single draft will have this thing in it. But realistically, I really don't think so. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this hero preview. If you want to share your own opinions on this or want to point out some horrible thing I'm missing or some mistake I'm making, then go right ahead, share it with everyone, and maybe I'll learn something too. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out.